religiously select group of commandos chase Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Michael Eisner at gunpoint naked through the streets of New Orleans. As an added incentive, no more health care for the sick. Let people die as God, in whom we trust, intended. And especially, people with lifelong self-induced disabilities shall no longer be given handicap placards just so they can park in front of a store in which they plan to walk and walk and walk for upwards of passing an hour. On the flip side, as compensation for completely dumping Medicare, no more Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection for any kind of big business. If a company goes bankrupt, tough shit. All company assets and bank accounts, along with all personal bank accounts and assets of all company executives, shall be immediately seized, liquidated, and distributed by the government to firemen and veterans of foreign wars. And as a guaranteed incentive to get your typical non-voter off the couch and to the polls to vote for my beautiful ass, as if my re-election was a motherfucking shoo-in as is. No different than an economic stimulus plan from God Almighty, my fellow Americans. When elected, I hereby swear to get a list from the IRS of every single person who made less than $30,000 last year. Make a calculation of 30,000 times that number of names. Take that calculation and send it to every single member of the Forbes 400 with a post-it note that explicitly says, if you know what's good for you, the 400 of you assholes will pool together this amount of cash and send it to me, John F. Kennedy, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C. At which time, I will send a check for $30,000 to every broke as fuck name on that list. I repeat, if you made less than 30 grand last year, make sure I get elected and you will receive $30,000 inside of 1 week. And now for my favorite prison reform. No more cigarettes to inmates. No more television, radio, books, or even anything to eat other than uncooked potatoes and water. Stay with me, it gets better. All inmates with legs that work, no matter what age, shall be forced to run at least at the minimum of 4 miles every day and an overheated turbine at 6 a.m. in the morning. If they refuse to run, they will be whipped and beaten with 2x4s on live national television. It is high time we made people truly afraid of jail. Reality TV has been replaced with something that is actually real. As you may remember, in 1960, I pushed very heavily for civil rights and human rights. But due to mulling it over for 40 years flat on my back next to Maryland, only to wake up to an even worse world full of gigantic prisons packed full of scumbags, living and laughing, smoking cigarettes, getting fat, eating steak as if they were members of a country club. I have come to the decision that if you rape or murder a person, you no longer have any human rights. Hell, you don't even have any animal rights. You shall instead be trained like mice